The parents of a murdered Marine are accusing the Pentagon of a cover-up in the death of their son. Lance Corporal Greg Buckley Jr. was gunned down in an insider attack on an American base in Afghanistan in 2012. His family is now turning to sue the Marine Corps in a search for more information about how he died. Rick Leventhal, live in our New York City newsroom with more on that. Rick.
John, this is a highly unusual lawsuit filed by a frustrated Gold Star family against the Marine Corps and Department of Defense, not seeking any financial settlement, just information about how their son died, facts they're entitled to under federal law.
He says, we just have a bad feeling that we're not going to be able to ever get home. He says, I feel like these people here are going to turn on us. He says, they're just not right.
Gregory Buckley says his son had a fatal premonition that proved true. Lance Corporal Gregory Buckley Jr. was brutally murdered in Afghanistan in August 2012, just 3 days before he was scheduled to come home. It wasn't a firefight on a battlefield or an improvised explosive device. The 21-year-old was working out with fellow Marines at the base gym when a 17-year-old Afghan walked in with an AK-47 and emptied the clip, killing Buckley and 2 others.
I want them to admit that they were wrong, and I want somebody to be held responsible for my son's death.
Buckley is suing the Marine Corps, its former commandant, and the Defense Department, not for money, but for information about his son's death. He says supervisors ignored warnings and allowed an unsavory Afghan police chief named Sarwar John to live on the base. John was allegedly involved in selling drugs, uniforms, and weapons to the Taliban and brought young so-called T-boys on post to serve as sex slaves. It was one of the T-boys who opened fire on the Marines. He was convicted and sentenced to 7 years.
The Buckley's lawyer says it's shameful that the family has been kept waiting 2 years for all the facts about Greg Buckley's death. A Marine Corps spokesman says they can't offer any comment today because of this pending lawsuit, John.
All right, more on that now. Rick, thanks very much. Rick Leventhal.